Sirens have been activated across Israel in the early hours of Friday morning. Israel's air defense systems intercepted several missiles over the southern and central region. The military said the cluster of missiles were launched from Iran. This comes after a man was killed in a rocket attack in northern Israel on Wednesday. Nida Ibrahim is following developments in Israel from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Nida, can you just talk us through the latest Iranian strikes on Israel and the overall impact that the war is having?
Well, while they were relatively lower in terms of intensity of these Iranian-fired missiles into Israel, Hezbollah has kept the pressure on the northern Israeli front, where we've seen on Thursday one person had been killed as a result, as well as raising so many questions about the validity of the Israeli army's strategy in southern Lebanon. Since the beginning of this battle, this round of fighting between Hezbollah and Israel, the Israeli defense minister has kept saying that they want to push for this security buffer zone. They want to call up more reservists. They want to control and occupy areas in southern Lebanon. Of course, that changes. Sometimes they say it's southern Litani River. Other times they say it's even further north, taking up as much as potentially 15% of Lebanese soil. This did not land well with everyone in Israel. Some military analysts have been saying that while Israel is facing a very intensive war with Iran, very major front, still under bombardment and sending millions of Israelis to shelters, lives disrupted, but also at the same time, they are pushing for more ground invasion that could potentially be costly to the Israeli army without achieving certain goals, which are ending or disarming of Hezbollah. And that's something even Israeli defense officials have said it won't be achieved through a ground invasion alone, but through an agreement with the Lebanese government that does not seem to be going anywhere at the moment. This debate, this internal struggle cannot be seen outside of the fact that it's an election year. Let's listen in to one of the key figures of opposition in Israel and what he had to say about that.
The IDF is stretched to the limit and beyond. The government is leaving the army wounded out on the battlefield. The government is sending the army into a multi-front war without a strategy, without the necessary means, and with far too few soldiers.
So this cannot, again, be seen outside of the fact that it's an election year. Everyone's trying to score points. But it's important to note that while there is a very high support for this war inside Israel, more than 80%, according to recent polls, support and agree with this war, we cannot say that everyone is exactly happy with the strategy, with the way it's being carried out, with the fact that we're approaching the 1 month point of this war without achieving key goals when it comes to changing the regime in Iran, which is something that the Israeli Prime Minister has promised to do, but then backtracked on it when it comes to diminishing the Iranian threat altogether, as well as disarming Hezbollah. All of this is being weighed in Israel as we are approaching, as we've been saying, the 1 month point of the war.
All right, that's Nida Ibrahim, live for us from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Thanks so much, Nida.